Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Mr. Hashimi. Hello. So, we'll be waiting for a few more minutes. Unfortunately, it's Afghanistan, so we have had issues always. And yet again, I had an issue with my internet connection as well as electricity. So, that's something, we're used to. Yeah, you could share your thoughts about that. How do you feel about that? I usually feel very uh, angry, and yeah, that anger creates kind of anxiety and worry as well. But I had to have a control on myself. So, with all these struggles, the challenges, I'm back again, and I hope so. You have had a very good week and you're having a good weekend. As we know, in Afghanistan, it is weekend on Thursdays and Fridays, but Fridays are off. Hello, hello. Hello, Miss Sultani. Thank you. Welcome. So let's get it on. What do you say? So, first of all, I would like to hear from you that also you can have in the live chat your opinions about what do I mean by when I say the art of learning? What does that mean? The art of learning. So, since I announced my live stream, so you've been getting excited about it. Yeah, hello, Miss Hashimi, welcome, and Hoshi. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. I think it's getting warmer. Although, yeah, by the way, Happy New Year. And Miss Sharifi, welcome, welcome, hi. So, by the way, I was saying, so Happy New Year. It's the new year in Afghanistan. It is 1404. And I wish you a very happy new year. Although there are some oppositions with celebrating the new year. But in my opinion, new year is another opportunity to have specific goals, plans, and to welcome the spring after a long, dark, and cold winter. We're here welcoming uh, the new year. Yep. So previously we used to celebrate New Year, but now unfortunately we do not celebrate in a very specific way. We just say Happy New Year. Yep. So thank you everyone. Happy Nowruz, Happy New Year. And actually, I would have a short explanation of New Year. My friends or the viewers from other countries might not know that Nowruz is the new year or the starting of a new year in Afghanistan, which is celebrated. It is celebrated traditionally. We have lots of traditions. More specifically, we have something by the name of which I'm not a believer of it. It is Jandabala in Balkh province. There is a province in Balkh. We have near the shrine. We gather and we have a kind of ceremony, and then we prepare half mewa. We prepare samanak, and we sometimes wear new clothes, and which is and also on the second day of New Year we have Jashn Dehqan, which is the traditional way of celebrating mm, the coming of green, or we can say the coming of spring. Yeah, so that's all a short info about the new year in Afghanistan. All right, guys, let's start. So, as Ms. Sultani said, I asked her about what do you know about the art of learning? The art of learning. Yeah, one of who she said putting henna. So henna is a kind of color that Muslims usually in Asian countries, in India as well, in Asian countries they put on their hands to celebrate special ceremonies, ceremony like weddings and Eid, which is a religious celebration. Yep. All right. So let's get started. So as I was discussing about the art of learning and what is learning, why do we need to know the art of learning and how important it is to learn? Why should we learn and how to learn? So as you know, today we're diving into the art of learning, how to observe, retain, and apply knowledge effectively. Whether you're a student, an entrepreneur, or just someone passionate about self growth, the strategies today I'll be sharing will change how you learn forever. So, by the end of this live stream, you will know and you will discover the science of how your brain learns best. Uh, we will go through proven techniques to observe and retain information faster, the biggest learning mistake and how to avoid them, how to stay motivated and disciplined while learning. So, guess if you are serious about this live stream, because I am sharing very fascinating and very practical methods on how you can learn better. So, I request you to grab a paper or a pen. You can note some of the points. So, so far, so good. If you don't have any question, any comments, we will start. In case you don't have any comments or any questions, we'll get started. Yep. All right. As I see, there are no questions. And let's get started, guys. First thing I'm going to talk about is the science of learning, how our brain works. As you know, neuroplasticity is the key to learning. So your brain isn't fixed. It's it constantly rewires itself based on what you do and learn. That means it can change. There are neurons in your brain that can change as you learn, as the day passes, as you get experience. So this ability is called neuroplasticity. Sorry, neuroplasticity. So it means you can train your brain to learn faster with the right strategies. Remember, brain, and some people usually they say that I'm used to it, I can't change my habit, and so on. As you know, brain is designed to change, brain is designed to learn, brain is designed to gather new information, and brain is designed to look for the answers that you have questions about. So it's easier to learn. So there's a technique by the name of the learning pyramid. Retain more, forget less. So what is the method? The learning pyramid. So studies show we retain means we get 10% of what we read and 20% of what we hear and 50% of what we discuss, 90% of what we teach others. So if you want to learn faster, actively engage with the material. Always remember, you have to feed your brain with something beneficial. As unfortunately nowadays, we feed ourselves with reels, with TikToks that is no of use. So, what do you hear, what do you read, what do you see, what do you say, and what do you teach? You are actually retaining all of them. You're storing all those information. So don't forget the strategy: 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 50% of what we discuss, 90% of what we teach others. So that is the learning pyramid. All right. So I guess you got the point about the learning pyramids. Yeah. Hello, Miss Sadiqi. Welcome. I hope you have had a good day so far. Of course, it's evening now. All right. So if you got any question about this part, let me know. So then we can continue to the other part. If you've got any question, let me know. Everybody who is present in the live stream. And I'm very glad that you guys are here. So you guys are willing to learn something new. That is the best thing you can do. And this is a very it's a good habit to use your time efficiently. Yeah, perfect way. And Mr. Sultani, she said, yeah, we have paper. All right, thank you. I'd note some of the points. If you got any questions, you could ask me. All right, guys. So that was the pyramid, the learning pyramid. Retain more, forget less. So that means, again, I would like to repeat: 10% you learn from what we read, 20% from what we hear, 50% from what we discuss, and 90% from what we teach. That means read something good, read something um, that can help you to grow. Hear something that helps you, like 20% you will read, you'll retain in hearing something, like the thing you're doing right now. Next one, 50% of what we discuss. So while you're with your friends, while you're with your coworkers, you're with anybody, so discuss with them the very beneficial things. And 90% of what we teach others. So you read the perfect materials, you heard perfect podcasts, book summaries, and all things around you, and documentaries. Yeah. And you discussed with your friends, with your circle, and then you taught to others. So that is the perfect strategy to learn something better and not to forget. So that was number one, the learning pyramids. So let's move on to number two. And then again, I would like to get some of your opinions. Okay. So I've got a question. Uh, Thank you, Ms. Hashimi. I'm glad to be here. Really, I appreciate you guys being here and waiting for my live stream. That's an honor. Thank you. So, Ms. Hoshay, she has asked, for not forgetting what we learned, what should we do? We just discussed, like, there are 4 points you have to keep in mind. All right. There are four essential points. The first thing you got to do is discuss with your friends. Okay, discuss with your friends, discuss with your circle, discuss with anybody you know. Two, try to teach to others. All right, now sometimes you might say, I have nobody around me, so who should I teach to? I say, don't try to teach to others. Try to record your voice, try to explain what you know. I'll tell you a short of my experience. Like, I was working somewhere, so there was a guy uh, who had also had been going to university. So while he had exams, he would come and discuss his studies lessons with me, and sometimes he would try to teach me some of the materials. Like, then I asked him, like, why do you do that? And then he said, because I do not forget easily. So I have to discuss with you, and also I have to teach teach some of the things to you. So this way you will actively engage with the material. So 10% from what we read, 20% from what we hear, 50% from what we discuss with our circles, and 90% of what we teach to others. Thank you. Yeah, and Ms. Sharifi has said, yes, be careful of what you see and what you hear. Okay, that's true. That's true. Please choose your friends wisely and hear good things, positive things, things that can inspire you, things that can motivate you, things um, that can help you grow. Now, I don't understand some of the people. They keep on watching a movie for 3 hours, 2 hours. How's that really possible? How is that really possible? Like, I cannot think about it to waste my time on watching a movie, or although there are good movies that they have a message, but I don't consider watching movies at all. So instead of movies, I consider to watch documentaries. Yeah, yeah. Welcome, Hushi. And Abdul Boys Khalakar has asked, Sir, can you tell us about what is advanced speaking? Now, advanced speaking, it means when you know advanced structure, grammatical structure, when you know advanced words, when you know advanced grammar. So that is called advanced speaking. Yep, I like this point. This is one of my favorite points. And thank you, Ms. Hashimi. And Hoshay, she said, or he, I don't know. Sorry, sorry for that. They said our brain is actually living by keeping learning. Amazing point. Remember, if you want to live longer, if you want to have a positive energy, try to learn. I always say this, an example is astonishing and it has helped me a lot. That if you think most of the times children are always excited, they're happy, they are usually trying to talk a lot, explain to you something, and tell you about the day, tell you about what happened, and that is because their brain is learning every minute. Remember, their brain is learning every minute. And when you stop learning, this also I discussed in the last live stream as well. When you stop learning new things, you get bored. Once you get bored, you say, I'm no of use. When you say you're no of use, you get depressed. Once you get depressed, you know what happened. So the term depression is, it comes from not learning. So remember, if you keep on learning, there is nothing like depression. I don't know how do people find time to say I'm depressed. Like there are thousands of things you got to do. There are thousands of things you have to do. You have to work out, you have to learn, you have to teach, you have to invent, you have to make yourself better, you have to have a good body, you have to have a good brain, you have to have a good job, good life, and you have to make something, you have to discover something. How could we say that we are depressed? Now, I got no time for depression. Why? Because I'm learning something new every minute. That's the way I do. So I suggest and recommend everybody to learn something new every day. So that was a pyramid. So the learning pyramid. So we'll move on to the second strategy, that is proven techniques to learn faster and smarter. How can you learn faster or smarter? So there is a strategy by the name of spaced repetition, the secret to memory retention. Instead of cramming, review information over increasing intervals. Example, 1 day, 3 days, and 7 days. The- this strengthens your neural connection. That means once you learn something new, try to repeat it after 1 day, after 2 days, after 3 days, or even after 5 days. Because I teach English to students, and the students say, teacher, most of the time we cannot memorize the words. So then what I say, I give them this strategy. You have to repeat at least after 1 day, after 3 days, after a week. You have to keep on repeating. Now, when I hear a new word or a new term, a new expression, idiom, anything in English, the best thing I can do is I just keep on repeating it today, and I try to use it in my speaking, I try to use it in my writing, and I use it as much as I can. That is the best way to remember something for long. All right. So this is called spaced repetition. Give time, maybe after 1 day, after 3 days, after a week, repeat it again. This way, you will make your neural connection stronger. So next one, the Feynman technique. Learn like a genius. Richard Feynman, a Nobel Prize winning physicist, used this simple method. One, learn a concept. Two, explain it in simple words like teaching a child. Three, identify gaps and refine your understanding. Now, guys, when you learn a concept for the first time, try to explain it in simple words. Most of the time, when you read something and you don't understand well, try to rephrase it, try to restate it, try to re-say it in easy words, easy terms. That will help you. That will help you to remember for long and learn the information. Okay, and then identify gaps and refine your understanding. Identify the gaps. Where are the problems, or which terms maybe you have forgotten the small or minor details. Add the details, and that will help you to refine your understanding. That is the second way. When you learn a concept, explain in simple words, and then identify gaps and refine your understanding. The best way you can do. Next technique is chunking, breaking it down. So your brain process information better in small, meaningful chunks, means sets. Rather than long, complex details, example, phone numbers are split into chunks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 for easier recall. So we do not say 14,339. That is a mistake. What do you do instead? Instead, break it down into small parts. Say, for example, it's an example of a phone number, but you can do it with information as well. When you're learning these information that I'm giving you, break it into small parts. Part one, part two, part three. Because long and complex details are very difficult to remember. So instead, divide it into small parts. Means break it down. Now, mind mapping, visualize to memorize. What does it mean? Create a visual diagram of the information. Our brain processes visual 60,000 times faster than text. That means imagine things, right? Imagine things. As Albert Einstein says, that imagination is the most powerful thing that a human has. So you better imagine things. Now, as per my experience, when I used to learn something like 5 and 6 years ago, I would learn word by word. I would remember the spelling of the word, which is not a helpful way, and it would take long time to remember. But instead, I would imagine a situation. Let's say I'm talking about my daily activities, right? My routine. I'm talking about my daily routines. So I say I take a shower at 7:30 in the morning. Instead of memorizing the words like take, T-E-A-K-E, or what I say or what I do, I visualize myself taking a shower. So that way I learn better. Yes? So now, when I'm explaining these informations, I'm visualizing myself in this situation. For example, I told you that a phone numbers are split number. So I'm imagining the way I would say a phone number to somebody. I would not say it as a full digit. I will say it as chunk. That means as a set. One, two, three. Okay. 073 321 649. That's how I would say a number, and it would be easier for you to remember. Next thing is mind mapping. Visualize, sorry, we just talk about this. Visualize to memorize. So visualize a situation. All right? Visualize a situation. Don't try to remember the sentence. Try to get the concept and visualize what you just learned. Like if I would say that with AI, it's possible to to treat cancer. Now you have to imagine that situation, how AI is going to treat cancer. Now, the third major point is so far, so good. I guess there wouldn't be any question. Yes, Hoshi, I didn't get the point. And in real life examples, true. When you're trying to learn something, try to visualize real life examples. Real life, in real. Okay, don't go to like something imaginary always. It won't help a lot. I prefer if you imagine in real life. Thank you for that point. I love this point. Miss Sharifi says our body nutrition is by eating and our brain nutrition is by learning. Perfect way to say that. I really like that. Thank you. You deserve one of these hearts. All right. So, yeah, actually, that's true. That's true. Yep. And still, if you would like to have a good body, of course, nutrition is the first thing. Number two, exercise is the second thing. And if you would like to have a good brain, so learning is the best way. Thank you, Ms. Hashimi. She says, you describe things so well. I wish we could continue the podcast until morning. Yeah, that would be, and at the end, so it would be just me and you. Nobody else would be in the podcast, unfortunately. All right. Okay. So far so good. If you don't have any question, we'll move on to the next point. But guys, I need you to focus, please. Focus, please. These live streams are just for you. If you would like to learn something very beneficial, I suggest you to suggest these podcasts to your friends who you think will learn something, who you think are about to learn, who you think will change, who you think are better at learning. All right, guys. So let's go to next part. So third point we are going to discuss is biggest learning mistakes to avoid. All right. There are some mistakes that we do. For example, passive learning, just reading or watching without applying leads to low retention. Remember, if you just watch or listen or read and you don't implement any of them, so that is a mistake. So there is no use of watching something, hearing something, reading something. So if you don't apply the things I'm telling you, there is no point in being here. So I request you to apply what you learn. That's it. Apply what you learn. So that means you are implementing. When you implement something, it is in action. There are people they talk, yeah, but they don't show that in actions. So that's not acceptable, or that's kind of, we can say it is useless actually. Okay, so when you watch something, right, without applying, so it's nothing. So passive learning, that is called passive learning. You learn something but you don't apply. So like I've, me myself, I've studied computer science. So in computer science, if you don't apply what you learn, it's like you're reading a book without getting anything out of it. So it's all practical. So you have to practice, you have to implement. That is the best way to learn something. So thank you. So passive learning, apply what you learn. That's it. Two, multitasking. Your brain can't focus on two things at once. Stay focused. Now, again, I'm just emphasizing focus. Focus, focus, focus on one specific task. Don't mix up the tasks. Don't mix up the tasks. Do one task at a time. Now, unfortunately, the phone and social media has made it very difficult for us to focus. It is 24 hours distractions. So one of the best things that I did was I disallowed or deactivated all my notifications. You won't believe that when I turn on my data or Wi-Fi, I get no notifications. Why? Because every notification is a distraction. Because I want to be focused. Focus on one single task, right? Focus on one single task at a time. Don't do several or many things at once. Fine? So that's another important point. Next one, ignoring fundamentals. Always build a strong foundation before moving to advanced concept. Wow, I love this. This is my favorite part. Now, guys, when you want to learn something, you have to build a foundation. Learn from the basics, learn from the start, learn the basic things. Let's say if you want to be a good writer, if you want to be a good writer, what do? You have to know the fundamentals of writing. Means you have to know what a paragraph is. Sorry, you have to know what is writing. Why do we write? What is a sentence? What is a symbol? What is a word? What is a letter? What is a sentence? How many types of sentences we have? How many types of paragraphs we have? How we can have a good structure in our writing. So these things are fundamentals. When you know the fundamentals, it becomes easier. So stop avoiding the basis of something. Base is very important. Do not ignore the fundamentals. So you have to have strong base. Start from the beginning. And unfortunately, some of us, we try to learn a lot in less time. That's impossible. What do you have to do? Focus on one single task. Learn the basis. All right? Learn the basics. Learn the foundation. Make or have a strong base and make your basement stronger. Right? Think of a building, for example. What do? If you want to have a very tall or a very tall skyscraper, the base or foundation should be must be very, very strong. So if you want to be good in any skill, your foundation must be very strong. All right. Next, lack of application. Use it or lose it. So we talked about this. The best way to learn is to apply what you have learned. Apply the things you have learned. We already talked about this enough. Right? All right. So unfortunately, Ms. Sultani says, but the internet breaks our focus. It's okay. So, guys, at the end, you can write your emails to me uh, in the comments. So, I will send you the PDF file of what we talked about. All right? The PDF I will send you. Or also, you can join the WhatsApp channel by the name of the Hamza Real Podcast. I will upload there as well. And also, there will be some new announcements every time we have this kind of, for me, it's very efficient and very effective podcast. All right. Have you got any questions or any suggestion, anything if you have? If there is no suggestions, we will move on to the next point. Okay, Ms. Hashimi said we have got no question. So because it is Ramadan, during the day we can't have anything to eat or drink. So I would like to have a cup of tea. So what's your favorite type of tea? Which tea do you like? Green, black, or saffron tea? No, you don't want to say? Green tea. Wow. Especially green tea after qabli. It's too good. I love it. After qabli, it is just delicious. Yum. It's kind of it gives you a different type of feeling. Well, for Afghan people, tea is, and for Asian people, tea is a feeling. It's not a drink. Me too, but saffron tea and black tea are my favorite. Anybody else? And what do you think about tea? What's your favorite tea? Green, black, or saffron tea? Wow, I love that. Great job. That is the first thing for focus. So Ms. Sharifi says, I deleted my account except YouTube and WhatsApp. I don't want to spend my energy on social media. Yes. Guys, one thing about social media, it is dangerous. Why? It is dangerous because the life they show, especially influencers, the life they show is not like that. It is not actually like that. So if you say they're in good hotels, they have rented the hotels just for the reel or for the video they're making. The car, most of them have rented the car. Because real wealth, when somebody is really wealthy, like if you look at the Elon Musk, if you look at the Jeff Bezos, you look at Mark Zuckerberg, these are the successful people. Have you ever seen them in a very luxurious car, in a luxurious home? They don't even want to show. Even Mark Zuckerberg has been wearing his, I guess, t shirt for almost like 20, 25 years, right? And they don't have any luxury watches, luxury cars, luxury life. Like they don't go to luxury restaurants. Of course they do, but they don't want to show because real wealth is not in social media. It is in life. They have wealthy life, not wealthy social media account. That's a great thing to do. Perfect. You deserve a heart, not heart, many hearts, But right now, I would like to give you these hearts. All right, guys, let's move on to the next point. So we talked about biggest mistakes we make. Let me review shorter. Passive learning, we don't apply what we learn. Multitasking, stop multitasking. Just focus on one task at a time. Ignoring fundamentals, do not ignore the base of something, the base of a concept. If you want to move on to advanced, you have to know the base. Okay. Next is you staying motivated and disciplined while learning. So I'm not a big fan of motivation because motivation comes and goes, yeah, but discipline stays. You have to develop discipline. For example, set clear goals, define what, why, and when you want to learn something. Fine. So use 2-minute rule. If you feel unmotivated, just start for 2 minutes. Action builds momentum. So first of all, start with less, right? So let's say you don't like reading book. Yeah, for example, you want to start reading a book. What are you going to do? First, start from one page. Try to read one page and understand one page. Okay? The mistakes that we make, we don't know what we are reading. Now, when you read something, try to understand what you're reading. What is it about actually? Fine. So, when you start from one page, now make it a habit, guys. Make it a habit. Choose your favorite books. Okay. It could be anything sci fi, it could be entertainment, it could be success, it could be like any book you like. Okay, start reading. Now, start from one single page in a day. And another thing, guys, I do not prefer PDF books. I prefer hard books because when you're reading hard books, it has another feeling. So, for example, I, when you feel the pages, it's too good. It's great. It creates a sense of what you can say, a sense of achievement, right? So try to read hard books. All right. So I would suggest some of the books in the next our next podcast or stream. But for now, try to have or choose your own book. Start from one single page. That means try to read for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay. Start from less. Fine. Next one. So then it creates momentum. Two, accountability partner. Learn with a friend or join community. Now, right now, you have made the decision, right? You have made the decision to learn something. So you're here. So you are in a community, a small community that we have, and it is also a good thing. Or also choose a determined friend, a friend who you think is not disturbing, is or he is not a distraction to you. Yep. Choose a friend or join a community. You have already joined a community, but remember, guys, you have to choose your friends wisely. I always say that. So take breaks. This is Pomodoro technique. Study for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. So if you do this for 1 hour, so in 1 hour, 25, 25, in each 25, between each 25 minutes, take a 5 minutes break. Okay? A very effective break. Have a cup of tea, a glass of juice, a glass of water, and focus. Just close your eyes, meditate for 5 minutes, or take a short nap. That's it. Got it? So when you study or read something, or when you want to focus on something, study for 25 minutes first, and then take a 5-minute break. And if you keep doing this and keep doing this in sequence, just imagine in 1 hour how much you can learn. It is just amazing. right? So the last point is reward yourself. Small reward keep motivation. For example, just have some chocolates. Yeah, have some chocolates, my favorite. So, or you can say, if I if I finished 5 pages, I'm gonna have a cup of tea. Yeah. So that's a reward you're giving to yourself. So this is a small reward. Or also, if you say, if I finish 20 pages of this book, I'm gonna buy a chocolate. Yeah. Or I'm gonna get a chocolate for myself. So reward yourself. Okay. So that will keep you motivated. So if you want to be motivated, reward yourself with small things. Fine. It helps. It helps. So let me read some of your comments in chat box. So it says, Miss Sultani, green tea. Yep, green tea is good. I like it, but I don't love it. Black and saffron tea is my favorite. And Miss Hashimi said, actually, we must use social media in an effective way. Truly. I truly agree. 101%. We have to use social media in an effective way. Now, what are those effective ways? If you can share your opinions, I would be glad. Some effective ways to use social media. Okay, and Ms. Sharifi said black tea. Yes, black tea. There you go. Yes, go on, guys. Share your opinions. What do you think? What do you think is the best way or the best effective way to use social media? I repeat, the best effective way to use social media. All right, the best effective way to use social media. Come on, guys, put your comments in the chat box. Yeah, I usually when I try to study something new or I want to learn something new, so I keep on caffeinated. So because it has caffeine, a little bit of. So Miss Hashimi said we can learn a lot of useful things by using social media platforms. Like right now, look at me. I'm listening to you and it's absolutely effective for me. That's correct. So live example. Yep, you're listening to this podcast and it's effective. That's it. That's the one of the ways you can use. Yes, anybody else would like to share their opinion? 101% correct. The question would be how can, let me write, use social media effectively? How can we use social media effectively? How can we use social media effectively? Come on, guys, share your opinions. I would like to hear from you. How can we use social media effectively? Effectively. Go on. Put your thoughts in the chat box. Put your thoughts in the chat box. I'm listening, just waiting for your opinions. Just waiting for your opinions. All right, we have Miss Hashimi, very active. Thank you for being so active in today's live stream. I like that. So Miss Hashimi says, and I have been learning a lot of things. For example, I'm continuing my education by using social media platforms like WhatsApp. Yeah, indeed, indeed. So, guys, you know that even sometimes I say this is a pen, right? Yes, of course, it's a pen. So you can use it to change the world, or also you can use it to kill somebody, right? So if I hit somebody here with this pen, so it could kill them. Now, if I would like to write a book with this pen, so it could change thousands and hundreds and thousands of people's life. Okay, Ms. Sultani says by controlling our emotions, sometimes we should not listen to our heart. For example, sometimes I want to study, but my heart says that no, started after 5 or 10 minutes. And by this way, I waste more time. Indeed. So that's a habit of procrastination. So that means when you say you want to do something, start doing it. That's it. Don't wait for your brain or for the excuses to pop out. Just when you say I'm gonna start it. Right? That's a great point, Ms. Hashimi, 100%. So when you say you want to do something, just start doing it. Stop waiting for after 5 minutes, because we discussed in the last live stream, is also there, you can watch it later. We discussed that the best time is right now, because we usually say tomorrow I'm going to do, and that tomorrow never comes. Yes, today is the tomorrow you said you're going to start. So every day is like that. Yes, and then Ms. Hashimi says, but I don't think we should share our lives on social media and post everything there. Exactly. Live your life for yourself. Don't show to people what you have got. Don't show to people what you are doing. Because you're not a popular, you don't have fans. Nobody's waiting for you to post something. Like Cristiano Ronaldo, he gets $1.5 million for per post on Instagram, right? So nobody cares what you're eating. Nobody cares where you have been. Nobody actually cares as much as you think they care. Nobody cares about your life. Everybody is drawn in their own life. Everybody's thinking about their own life. Everybody's busy with their own problems, own struggles, on field. So nobody is actually, so nobody thinks that you're so important the way you think. So if you should be important for yourself first. So the best way to avoid distraction, do not share everything you do on social media. Sometimes you go to a restaurant, you just post something, and you go to on a trip, you post something. Sometimes, not always. So we shouldn't share everything on social media. Guys, social media should be a platform for learning, I believe, or for some verified pages that share news. Okay, I'm not a big fan of news, except tech news. They're my favorite. Okay, and Miss Mariam Sultani. And by using from some free AI like DeepSeek or ChatGPT. Yes, right. That's also a good way. They're best AI tools or agents to try to learn something. All right, but don't believe everything you see and read, especially on social media. All right, guys. So let's wrap up our today's live stream. It says, so today we talked about the art of learning. You can master any skill faster and smarter. So the key points were, so you should know neuroplasticity. Your brain rewires itself. Train it effectively. That means you can change your brain at any time you want. Two, retention pyramid. Teach others to retain 90% of what you learn. That means the things you read, the things you hear, the things you watch, they are effective, and the things you discuss with your friends are important. So that was a retain pyramid, and also try to teach what you know. So learning technique, we talked about spaced repetition, review information over intervals. That means after 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, or 7 days, review it. And we talked about phenomenon technique, explain concepts simply. That means when you learn a new concept, try to change it into easy words that you understand. All right. Then we talked about chunking and mind mapping, break information into smaller parts and visualize, right? So you cannot learn something as a whole, make it or change it into small parts. The way I explain something, I'm just breaking the things into small parts. Next, avoid mistakes. Don't passively learn, multitask, or skip fundamentals. Okay, don't learn. When you learn, apply it. Don't do many tasks at the same time, several tasks at the same time. Focus on one single task, and do not skip fundamentals, the base of something. Next, avoid motivated. Set clear goals. For example, today you want to read 3 pages of a book. Complete it. This is clear goal. Use 2 minute rule and reward progress. Start from 1 page first day, 2 page second day, and 3 pages the third day, and so on. With 21 days, you can develop any habit you want. What learning habit do you have? Okay, and Miss Hashimi, I've got other comments from you. So she says, nowadays I'm watching people and they are like Oranus, go post this or that. And I'm like, no, no, we're different. Exactly. Exactly. You deserve, I agree with you. I agree with you. Now, sometimes, not sometimes, always we say that I'm different. Now, we all say that I'm. All right, guys, we are back. We are back. All right, we had a little internet issue. Um, and today you have given me lots of energy, positive vibes I'm getting. And yeah, so got lots of comments. Now, guys, I would like to read some of the most famous quotes about learning. Now, let's go and share your opinions about these quotes. Sorry, I got my eyes itching. Yeah, one of the famous quotes that says, never stop learning because life never stops teaching. Wow. What do you think about that? Never stop learning because life never stops teaching. Never stop learning because life never stops teaching. I would like to have your opinions. Go on. Never stop learning because life never stops teaching. All right. Guys, that's true, of course, because every day we learn something new. We meet new people, we see new things, we hear new opinions, we read something new, right? So this, and we experience something new most of the time. So that is true, right? So if you wouldn't like to share anything, I would like to read one more. So it says, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. So this is very powerful by Albert Einstein. So education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. That's true. Yeah, and Ms. Hashimi has said it's absolutely right because life is not easy. Every day is new learning and a new study. Of course, exactly. I agree. I agree with that. Indeed. Indeed, that's life. That's life. That is. So Albert Einstein says, as we said, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. So when you get right education, you are training your brain to think. Once you think, lots of things can change. Well, I'm not talking about overthinking. I'm not talking about useless thinking. I'm not talking about imagining something that would not happen. So overthinking is different from thinking, remember? So overthinking creates worries, depression, anxiety, you know, like disbelief in ourselves. So that's something terrible. Okay, Ms. Ajmi says, I don't know what's wrong with my brain. It doesn't work. I believe it's because it's night. Well, but some scientists believe that at night your brain works better because the crowd, the noise is not a lot. Yeah, because of the silent atmosphere environment, your brain even works better at night. Now, I don't know what's it. Maybe you're excited. That could be another point. Maybe you are excited, right? So, education is to think. So, you're training your brain to think. One of my favorite Okay, yeah, I thought so. I thought so because you were excited, and that's a good point. Good point. That's good to be excited. And Ms. Sharifi says, everyone who teach me one word is my superior. Well, I don't, I, I quite agree with that, of course. Of course. Anybody who teaches, even remember, guys, even with the people you had bad experience with them, at least they taught you something. So they're your superior. Yep. So you learn about their behavior that people could be like that as well. That's also a point. That's that's what I agree with. That's 100% my type. I just learn to learn new things, to know new things, to see. Well, I'm not actually a fan of seeing new places, but to know new people, to ask them. I mean, to ask them things about their life, their opinions. I want to know their ideas, their perspectives of life, and their perceptions. That's my favorite thing to do. Me too. 100% right. Ms. Sultani says it means that in life we face many challenges, and also learning makes us smarter how to face the challenges. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So don't stop learning because life never stops teaching. Life teaches every day. So we must not stop learning. So guys, we will be here for 10 more minutes, then we're gonna sign off. Yeah. So guys, I'll have the last one. Yeah, I would like to take this comment as well. I wanted to have an online class with you, but unfortunately you weren't able. But I'm so happy that I can learn from you new things right here and have some conversations with you. Thank you. Me too. I'm really happy to be here. Unfortunately, my schedule is so tight that I can't take any class. All right. So, the last one, guys, my most favorite one is learning never exhausts the mind. Mhm. So, I would like to write this: learning never exhausts the mind. This is my favorite one. What do you think about this? Learning never exhausts the mind. Let me know. Learning never exhausts the mind. Go on, guys, let me know. Learning never exhausts the mind. And I hope so you know who said this. This is by Leonardo da Vinci, and he was a great painter. Leonardo da Vinci. One of his most famous painting is Mona Lisa. Okay, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. For example, Mr. Hashimi says it's cool. In my view, when I'm learning things, I never get tired of them, and I don't know why. Exactly. So that is because your brain never stops learning. It loves to learn. Your brain loves to rewire itself. They get stronger every time. I would suggest you a video after the class. Sorry, it's not class. After this live stream, you better watch that. So I will just post this. I hope so. Okay, exactly. That me too. That is because your brain loves to learn. And after this live stream, you can watch this video. What happens to your neurons when you try to learn something new? Yep. What happens? So the title of the video is What Your Brain Cells Look Like When You Learn Something New. It's a short in YouTube. Try to see it. So it actually, let me explain a little bit. Explain a little bit because your neurons recreate itself, they develop, they become stronger. All right, guys, that's it. That's all. So never stop learning. If you would like to be happier, stronger physically and mentally, and if you would like to be different, which is what we always claim that we are different, but we don't act like it, right? So keep learning, try to have the habit of learning. And when you learn something new, you become happier. So that's all for today. That was the uh, live stream for this week. I hope so you liked it. And I hope so you learned something new. That's the only purpose I'm having these live streams. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, stay strong, stay real, and stay focused. Bye bye.